Hi, I'm Will Gerling. I'm a sports and performance nutritionist, and today we're going to be talking about high carb, low fat versus high fat, low carb, and its effect on body composition and health over 1 year. I'm super excited about this study. I think it's going to show you a lot of information. It's a really, really good study. Let's just go into it. It's by a guy called Garder et al., and it was done in 2018. All right, we have 609 participants, which is a huge amount of people, and 57% were female and 43% were male, which is fantastic. There's a huge variation there, lots of different people, pretty much equal. They were premenopausal women. Their ages were between 18 and 50, and they were of a BMI that's 28 to 40. They were all healthy individuals with no metabolic issues, no diabetes, no problems whatsoever, so they were all healthy. This was a 12-month trial. As mentioned, we were comparing high fat, low carb to low carb, high fat. What markers were we looking at when we were doing this? Well, we're obviously looking at its effect on body composition and weight, but we're also looking at people's predispositions, so genotype, that suggests that people are more metabolically predispositioned to being more attuned to burning fat or carbohydrates. We then also looked at their insulin sensitivity and secretion of insulin based upon a little test they did at the beginning and end of the trial, and they also had 22 education sessions, with most of them being in the first 8 weeks. So they're really putting that education out there to advise them best how to do the diets they had been put into. A little bit more on genotype. So genotype is essentially, like I mentioned, people's predisposition to utilizing different sources of energy more within their body. So are you a fat burner or a carbohydrate burner, more so from a metabolic point and a gene point? So it accounted for that, and it accounted for baseline insulin levels, which is really cool to see the effects of these diets on those things. Over this whole period, at the 3, 6, and 12-month markers, they would do 2 weekday and 1 weekend unannounced visits where they would do a dietary recall over the whole thing, and this would be marked down and monitored. They saw over the whole trial that both groups were on average around a 500 to 600 calorie deficit, so they're super equal. The focus of the diet wasn't actually to put them in a deficit, it was to do dietary recalls and to focus on increasing their vegetable intake, decreasing their sugars, refined flours and carbohydrates, and reducing their trans fats, and focusing on a healthy, well-rounded diet with good quality being paramount. Exercise was just told to be maintained throughout the whole time, so if you were exercising, to maintain that level of exercise. And the results. So after 12 months comparing a high fat, low carbohydrate diet and a high carbohydrate, low fat diet and its effect on body composition, they were identical in the amount of fat they lost. They did DEXAs on all the individuals, so that's a X-ray type test which looks at muscle mass, bone density and fat mass, and they lost similar amounts, a non-significant difference. It was 5.3 kilos weight drop on average in the high carb, and it was 6 kilos in the high fat. It was non-statistically different across 600 people. Both diets also improved their blood lipid profile. They reduced blood pressure, positively affected their insulin levels, blood glucose levels, and saw no change in low density lipoprotein levels, so the bad cholesterol. These results are amazing because ultimately what it tells us is that as long as you are in a calorie deficit and you're eating good, healthy, quality food, it does not matter, even if you're genetically predisposed to burning more fat or carbohydrate, as long as you're in a deficit, you will drop fat and your health will improve. So there's no point in running around there saying, I want to do keto, I want to do fasting, I want to do low fat, high carb, I want to do high fat, low carb. What you need to do is just eat well, eat lots of veggies, exercise, and you will drop the weight you want as long as you are in a deficit. This study is the first longitudinal study kind of looking at this and really comparing them and showing equal groups with both age, gender, genotype in both groups, insulin sensitivity in both groups. These are all healthy individuals. They were not athletes, they were general everyday people. Would it be different for athletes? Probably not, because the only difference is they'll have to facilitate their training, and you'll probably see a greater difference in muscle mass changes. But the main focus here was to look at health and to look at its effect on body composition. Make sure you're in a deficit if you're trying to lose that body fat and improve all these health markers, and then you will do it. It does not matter if you think you're a fat burner or a carb burner or anything like this. Don't waste your money on these tests. It obviously does not matter. The be all and end all was calories. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and that's something you can take home when you're really focusing on what you need to be doing. If you really liked today's video, drop a comment, give me a like. I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think about today's video and what you'd love to hear more about. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.